A healthy relationship out of a really toxic one has been really challenging because I'm so wired in being scared and not wondering what's going to happen. So it's like just trying to like rewire my brain that like someone isn't going to do those same things has been really challenging.
Congrats on the story. It is such a beautiful song. What made you want to write this? I know that this is something that, is very near and dear to you.
For sure. I was, it was a couple weeks after the divorce and I was sitting with my friend, Sarah Bryce, who's Lee Bryce's wife. And she's a real dear friend of mine. And I was writing with her and my friend, Emily Shackleton. And we had wrote this song called Let It Burn. And during the entire like session, my heart was just kept getting like pulled and like tugged. And I was like, guys, if we have time, I really want to write a story for my kids because I've got these two beautiful children. And I'm like, how am I supposed to tell them like about what happened and the story? And like, well, what am I supposed to say to them? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I had this idea of just like writing the story out in a song where it's just like, it's almost like in a lullaby. Instead of reading them a book, like I'm going to tell them the story of, their mom and dad and how it didn't work out, but that like, they're still going to be okay. They're still going to be loved. And I love this song so much because I feel like, other people can obviously relate to it, but also for me, like, it's just to have this piece for my kids to know that like, they've always been at the forefront of everything that I do and will always do. So that they can have this as a piece to just remember that like the love that I have for them and continue to, and their dad as well. So
definitely. What was their reaction when they heard the song?
Oh my gosh, they love it. They sing it all the time. And then we did a little music video to it too. And, they laugh and they think it's, sweet to see. And, they love the song. So,
yeah. What was the hardest lyric for you to write?
Oh man. It was, I'll tell you this, like, it was all hard to sing. Like when I went to LA to sing it in the studio with Bruce, I said like the first line and then I just started like bawling and I was like, guys, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this because this is just so incredibly hard. But I think the hardest line to write then was the dreaming of the happy ending. Cause it's like, I didn't like at the time ever think there would be a happy ending. But honestly, for me now, it's like the happy ending. It's like, I've never been happier with me and the kids. Like my family of 3 is perfect and it is us. And like, that to me has been like kind of the full circle with the song. Like it was sad, but now it's like, I love our family of 3 and like, we're the happiest we've ever been. And because we have each other. So.
Yeah, I love that because, you do sing in the song that you deserve the perfect family. So I would love to know like kind of what you said. I mean, what does that perfect family look like for you now?
Yeah. I mean, now it's like, we are the perfect family. We're a family of 3. It wasn't how I thought it was going to look, but like, I'm excited to like see, I know that it's always going to be okay. Just us 3. And, I'm happy. The kids are, finally transitioning amazing. And like, they're happy. And like, that's all I can ask for is for my 2 beautiful babies to be happy and, have what they need and be doing good. So, and have a happy mom. Like I don't have the weight on me anymore and I'm funner. I'm like, okay, like I'm a cool mom now. Like,
cool mom now. Yeah.
Like I just don't have like that, like always like wondering or whatever. Like I enjoy life with them.
That's amazing. I mean, was that probably having that talk with them, telling them that story, was that probably one of the hardest things you've probably ever had to do as a mom?
Yeah. I mean, my son, it was hard because he still like doesn't understand it. He gets it now where it's like mommy house, daddy house. But for Jolie, I mean, she was just like, why, and it's like to have to like fumble through a why. Cause it's like, I know my why, but like, she doesn't need to hear my why, she's 6. So, just having to sit down with her and just go, I love your dad, but like, we're just friends. And, sometimes friends don't live in the same house and like, just trying to, and I think as she gets older, like there'll be obviously different ways to have that conversation, but I never want like, to ever be like, well, because your dad or this, or it's like, it's just, it's not good for the kids. They don't deserve that. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, how have your kids helped you through this period of your life? And, in 2 months, it'll be a year since you announced your split. So it's crazy. I mean, how have they really helped you get through this?
Yeah. I mean, I cannot believe it's been almost a year, but I mean, they helped me through more than, anything. I mean, because they're the reasons I had to get out of bed, like I still had to like be a mom. I still had to parent. I still had to take them to school. I had to feed them. I had to feed myself so that I could feed them, and function for them. And, it was so hard, but I mean, they were the ones that gave me like the strength when I didn't have any, but it's like, I had no choice but to be a parent to them when, and that's, I wish I could have had the time to like grieve it. But at the same time, it's like, no, like I have to get up. I got to do this. I have to mom. And then when I put them down to bed, then I can lose my stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like you said, I can't believe it's been almost a year, but could you ever imagine that you'd be in the place that you are now a year ago?
No. I mean, no, I didn't. And that's what I try to tell people now that reach out to me on Instagram. They're just like, is there a light at the end of the tunnel? And it's like, how do it's like, I'm like, oh, like, I wish I would have left sooner, like to feel like what I feel now. And just like the weight lifted and the heaviness and then knowing like, cause I would say to my friends, like, no one's ever going to want me. Like I'm a mom, I've been divorced. Like, I'm just like, I'm washed up and, just to know that like there is love out there. And more importantly for me, like, I know I'm finally okay alone. Like I can do this alone and like, I'll be okay. And I just never thought I could say that. So I think just like knowing how strong I am and then knowing what I want in my life. Like, I'm so glad not to have that anymore. And I'm so glad to see the other side of going, because at the time, like, yeah, I mean, a year ago, I still wanted that part back. And now I'm like, I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. Right. Like I would not go, I don't want to go near it, cause it's like, it's bad.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, it goes back to your kind of definition of the perfect family. That's what you thought the perfect family would be. And you never imagined that a family of 3 could be that. And now it is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is there still parts of the divorce that are still hard for you to deal with?
Honestly, sure. There are times when I, of course, would want, my family to be together if it was the person that I thought that I married. Mm-hmm. So that's the only piece. Like if I got the man that I was promised and to walk down the aisle to, yes, of course, I would love to be married to that man. I would love to not have to, holidays are really hard. I'd love to not have to separate holidays. Yeah. But by no means is that enough to stay in a very unhealthy, toxic place. Yeah. And like, it's not good overall. So that's like I only miss the version of the person that I never actually had.
Yeah. That's so crazy. It must be so hard to kind of wrap your head around that it's just not the person that you thought that you married.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. What's your co-parenting relationship like now?
Not fabulous, but you know what? It's one of those things where I hopefully in time we can, where I think we're doing an okay job. I'll just say this, I'm doing my part in what I can do to be a good co-parent. And I can't, he has to deal with his own side of things. And so if he doesn't want to be good at co-parenting, that's his thing. Like I have to, we don't engage unless it's for the kids, because when we engage, it's just, we're divorced for a reason. Right.
Do the kids still have a good relationship with him?
Oh yeah. I mean, they see him, he gets him, it's 70-30. So he gets him every Wednesday, every other weekend. So I have him 70%. He's got him 30.
Right. Are you hoping that he gets to the point where you guys can all be civil and sit down and, have a good, nice blended family?
I honestly, I wanted that so badly, but now, like, I think I'm just like, I'm okay not having that relationship because I wouldn't really know what's real anyways. And I just don't want that energy. Right. So now I think until I can just fully just not care. Like, I just don't want that energy around.
Right. Well, it seems like you have some good energy around you, and you have it seems like a great new relationship. I mean, what makes this relationship different for you?
The communication is better. I think just feeling, he definitely supports me, which feels really nice. But I mean, it's hard, like relationships a healthy relationship out of a really toxic one has been really challenging because I'm so wired in being scared and not wondering what's going to happen. So it's like just trying to like rewire my brain that like someone isn't going to do those same things has been really challenging. But he's been very patient with me, which has been very nice. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I think I'm just trying to focus on like, what's today? Today I'm good. Kids are good. And no matter what, like I'm okay. Like me and my kids will always be fine.
Yeah. So you're definitely taking things, a lot slower because, the trust is obviously a big issue.
Yeah. It's like, you never know people's intentions. You don't know, it's just, I have no reason to go fast. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I already have my 2 kids. I don't need any more, like I don't need to rush, like go too fast into things. Because it's just, I just was so blindsided before that. It's just like, I think I'm just so scared in, any relationship moving forward.
Definitely. When did you feel like you were ready to start dating again?
I mean, I definitely tiptoed in. Obviously we all know that like I went on some dates with people. But that's what my therapist is like, are you ready to give your heart away? And it's like, it's just so scary because you're like, what if this happens? And she's like, what if it does? And guess what? Like you have the tools now to walk the other way when that does happen. So it's like, okay, like that's right. So I think once I realized that I was like, I don't need to, I would like to be, in a relationship.
Right. Was your boyfriend, was he aware of the situation beforehand? Did he have any idea or, I
mean, he's caught up to speed.
Right. I'm sure. I'm sure.
Caught up to speed, but he's, he also, he's like, hey, I'm not your ex, like you gotta let me love you. And he's like, and I'm like, I'm trying, it's hard. Like, it's just so scary. But, like I said, I'm trying not to like focus on the like, well, what if this happens? What if it does? And you know what? Like I'm more capable now of handling things because my divorce didn't kill me. Anything after that isn't going to kill me.
Right. You're like, if I can,
I will be fine. I might have just got someone a little more extra Instagram followers, but like, I'll be good. You know what I mean? Like,
you're like, if I can survive that, I can survive anything. Are you in love? Are you in love now?
Am I in love? My gosh. So that's am I in love? Oh man, on the spot.
You don't have to answer me if you don't want to.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna pause on that one.
Okay. No, I mean, like you said, you're taking things kind of day by day and, taking things a little slower, which I think is great. How do you go about introducing your kids to somebody new? Was that something that was a lot for you to kind of deal with?
Yeah. So I definitely, I remember I was dating this one guy and I won't say his name, but we had gone out on a few dates and he like had surprised me at my house. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, I have kids. Like, I'm very protective of them. Like, you can't just show up at my house. Like, what? Mm-hmm. And I got so upset because I'm just like, okay, you don't understand that. I'm like, these are my kids. Like, you're not meeting my kids. Like, this is okay, but like, you're not meeting, like, not going to happen. So like, I'm very like protective of my kids. And so with Ian though, I met him at a kid's birthday party. So he had already technically met my kids. So, when we had talked about, all right, like, let's kind of see how this works, like integrating our kids together. And it was easier because I was able to like, hey, Jolie, remember that jump house place we went to? And, there was the guy that mommy was talking to, and he had a girl like right at your age. And so that we were like, want to have a play date with her?
So funny.
And then like, we would like not kiss around the kids or anything like that. Like we would just have like little play dates. And then eventually they would ask, like, they'd be like, can Ian come over? Like, he's really fun. And I'm like, do you want him to come over? Like, I could call him, So like, we kind of did it like that. Like it was always Jolie's idea to have Ian over. Mm-hmm. Like, it was never like, oh, Ian's here. She's like, hey, so now it's really cute. Like in the morning, Jace wakes up and he goes, Ian here? And I'm like, well, he's not, but like, do you want to call him? Or, so it's like, it's sweet that they're trying to, or he is here. And like,
So it's been like a smooth transition too, which is nice. And I guess your daughter's probably friends with his daughter too, which is nice.
Yeah, it's very sweet. And everyone his daughter's a sweetheart. So
that's great. And I mean, like you said, taking things day by day, but in the future, if you meet the right person, this is the right person. Do you want to get married again?
Yeah. And that's like, I know it's crazy. I'm like totally Elizabeth Taylor status. Like it's, but like, I don't know, like for me, like I want my kids to see like what, that family marriage looks like. And I want to model that for my kids. And I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but like I 1000% would love to get engaged and married again. And I don't know I think kids are off the table, but like, I would love that. And, but I would never settle or force it.
Right. Yeah. And like you said, kids off the table, probably.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I'm like, I'll be 39 this year. So I'm like, man, it'd have to happen quick. And I don't want to, again, like, I don't want to like push anything. And, I'm, like I said, I'm happy with my family of 3. So
yeah, definitely. And then what's next music wise after your story?
So I have a few other songs coming out later this year. Just kind of like the journey. And then I'm working on a movie right now with someone that you definitely know, but I can't say who it is. So we'll start filming in Nashville at the end of this month. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then, I might be writing a little something again. So
very nice. Very nice. And then probably, I'm sure Christmas movies in the works in probably a couple months, right?
Maybe.
I know there was also, I think, talks like maybe a few months ago, maybe last year, about a reality show. Would you ever consider doing that?
I would. I mean, I feel like my life already is like, on Instagram all the time, but I definitely, and I would do it. I think it'd be fun. I just wouldn't do like a Housewives or I don't want to fight with girls.
Right. Like that's the last thing you need, right?
Do it. Like I can't. So, but yeah, no, if the opportunity presented itself, I would do it.
I love it. Well, Jana, thank you so much. That was, I don't know if we could top that. That was great. And congratulations on the song. It's absolutely amazing. I love it.
Awesome. Thanks, Ava. I appreciate you.
All right. Always good catching up.
All right. Bye, honey.
All right, bye.